Good evening, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Layton, and welcome to your first video lesson. This lesson will be over counting slope. But first, I want you to know that at any time you can pause this video if you need more time to write down any notes. Also, you can go back and watch the video if you have any questions and you'd like to see anything again. Okay, I want you to go get your interactive notebook so that we can take notes during this lesson just like we would in class. I want you to add to the table of contents counting slope, and then I want you to turn to the next blank page and put the topic counting slope. Go ahead and number it in the top right corner, and then draw your line down the left side of your paper. So if you need time to go get your notebook ready, you can pause the video now. Okay, now that we're ready with our notebooks, I want you to put slope on the left side of the paper where we put our keywords. Okay, the slope is the rise over the run. It's a ratio of the rise to the run. So when we have a line graphed, we're going to use 2 points to count the rise and the run between those 2 points. It's also the vertical change over the horizontal change. Now, slope is also the constant rate of change, or the unit rate, which you should be familiar with. Okay? The next thing I want you to talk or put down in your notebook are the types of relationships. Okay? Positive relationship, negative relationship. There's also zero and undefined. Okay? So I want you to draw this line, and as you notice, if you go left to right, just like you would read a book, we start on the left and read and go right, that's how you read a graph as well. So as a line increases from left to right, that means it has a positive relationship. Okay? If it is decreasing as you go left to right, then it has a negative relationship. Then we also have horizontal lines, and they have 0 as their slope, and a vertical line has a slope that is undefined. And we'll talk more about those later. Okay? So if you need more time to write any of the information down on this board in your interactive notebooks, you can pause the video. Okay, next, how do you find the slope of a line? So when you're given a line that is graphed, you can find the slope with these steps. Okay, so on the left, put steps to counting slope. The first step is you're going to count the vertical change. You're going to start at one point and count the vertical change to be even with the next point. Second, you're going to find the horizontal change. So you'll count how many units you have to go over to get to the point. And then you're going to make a ratio with that vertical and horizontal change. The vertical change is the numerator, the horizontal change is the denominator. And then you always simplify. And if your vertical change is greater than your horizontal change, I still want you to leave it as a fraction, just an improper fraction. Don't change it to a mixed number like you've done in the past, okay? All right, so let's try an example. Okay, we have 3 points here. And to find the slope of a line, you only need 2 points. So I'm going to pick points A and C. Okay, and I'm going to use my steps. First, I'm going to count the vertical change. Well, to get even from point A to point C, I'm going to go up 2 units. 1, 2. So my vertical change is 2. Then I'm going to count my run, or my horizontal change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 units is my horizontal change. Okay, so I've made my ratio. Now I have to make sure I simplify. And 2 and 8 can both be divided by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is 1. And 8 divided by 2 is 4. And my slope is positive 1/4. Okay? And if you look at this line, it is increasing as you go left to right. Okay? Also, if you start at a point on the left, notice how we went up. And I always like to start on a point on the left where I rise and then go to the right, just like you would read a book. Start on the left, go to the right. And then that'll help you remember that this is a positive slope. You can also see that this ended up making a triangle. Okay? call that a slope triangle. And anytime you're counting slope, it will make a triangle. Okay. Let's try a couple more examples. Remember, we're finding the rise over run, also the vertical change over the horizontal change. Okay? I'm going to start on the left. I can see just looking at this line that it is a positive slope because as you go left to right, it is increasing. So I'm going to, just to help remember, put a positive sign down here so I know that my answer should have a positive slope. Okay, I'm going to start on the left point, and count how many units that I rise. Notice I rise, so it's a positive. 1, 2, 3, 4 units. So that is my vertical change. And then 1, 2, 3 is my horizontal change. So I have my, 4 over 3 is my horizontal chain. 4 over 3 is my slope. And I'm going to check to see if I can simplify. And 4/3 cannot be simplified. So my slope is positive 4/3. 4 is greater than 3. My numerator is greater, but just leave it improper. It's fine to leave it like that. All right, next, just this line looks a little different. It is falling or decreasing as you go left to right. So it's going to have a negative slope. So I'm going to put a negative sign down here waiting on me so that I remember my answer should be negative. And instead of rising, I am falling to be even with the next point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. So my vertical change is 6. And then 3 units is my horizontal change. Okay? And this can be simplified to -2. The slope is -2. And anytime your slope simplifies to an integer, this is your vertical change. It's falling to every 1 unit is your horizontal change. So anytime your slope is an integer, know that your horizontal change is 1 unit. Okay? So if you have any questions about counting slope, you can go back and watch any of this video right now, or you can jot down any notes, which on the left side of your interactive notebook would be a good place, and bring your notes tomorrow to class, and we will address any questions first thing. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.